Hey, happy Thursday night. That's right, it's Thursday. Normally we do our beef live events on Wednesdays, but due to the holidays and the craziness of the holidays, we are here live on Thursday. So, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and now we're getting ready for New Year's Eve. I'll tell you what an exciting holiday season it has been. Beautiful snowstorm today here in Colorado, and it's already melting, which is delicious. And I know a lot of our ranchers are super happy because that moisture is well needed, and we're very, very thankful for that. So, hey, I'm Chef Jason. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to the Colorado Beef Council for hosting another amazing Live with Colorado Beef. We're hanging out here in our barbecue studio. We have Todd Ingley, the Executive Director for Colorado Beef Council. He's working behind the scenes today, so he's going to be moderating. He's going to ask all your questions. We have a couple absolutely fantastic recipes today. Along the same lines as we did last month, we were talking about appetizers because we know you've got parties coming up, right? In the next couple nights, in the next couple days, maybe even the next week. A lot of New Year's parties coming up. We wanted to show you a couple really fun appetizers that travel well. You can make them now and kind of bring them and finish them at someone's house. So very, very cool. As we always do, a couple of housekeeping notes today. Don't forget to head over to coloradobeef.com. That's the Colorado Beef Council website. A lot of great information on their website, including the beef locator map, which will help you find Colorado beef, raised, grown, produced right here in Colorado, and ranchers that are selling beef that you can put in your fridge, in your freezer, and in your belly as well. So definitely go over to coloradobeef.com. And then a huge thank you to all of our farmers, ranchers, and producers for their support in letting us do what we can do. And I'm telling you, during the holidays, don't forget, those ranchers and farmers and producers are not taking lots of time off. They are not going on holiday vacations. They are out there caring for their animals and caring for their herds. And last night, between, what did we get? Some places got 3 inches of snow. Some places got 10. So there's a lot of feeding to be done and a lot of care to be done. So 2 fantastic recipes for you tonight. And if you go down into the description section, you can find both of those recipe links. It'll take you over to beefiswhatsfordinner.com, a great website with a lot of fantastic things. We always talk about recipes that will help us maybe repurpose some leftovers, right? Because maybe it's that philosophy of cook once, eat twice. We know you love it, and I'll tell you what, it's a great way to stretch your dining dollar and to stretch your beef dollar as well. So the first recipe we're going to start with tonight, cheesy beef artichoke dip. So we're very excited about that. We're utilizing a little bit of leftover pot roast for that, which is, I'll tell you what, I had all I could do to have leftover pot roast, but we have some, and this is going to make a great app. Then we're doing steak crostinis, and as you can see here, we had dinner last night, and I have a couple New York steaks that were extra, right? Maybe everybody ate a little bit less than I anticipated, or maybe I just cooked too many steaks. But we have some extra. We want to find a great thing to do, so we're going to use them up on those crostinis as well. Now, like we always say before we get started, feel free to leave your questions and comments in the description or in the chat, because I'll tell you, Todd's going to be bringing those questions forward. We'll get those answered for you, and then we will leave all the links, videos, recipes, all that good stuff here for you as well. Any questions going in? Or?
Nope, not yet.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to start off with the cheesy beef artichoke dip. So we have 1 block of cream cheese. I'm just using an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. We have some sour cream, some Parmesan cheese, some mozzarella, and I actually did a little bit of Swiss in here as well. We have a can of artichoke hearts that we chopped up. And then right here, look at this, a little bit of leftover pot roast and the gravy, because why not add the gravy in there as well? And then I know everybody's favorite, we have a little bit of spinach. So we have 5 ounces of spinach that we already rough chopped just to make it a little bit smaller. Now, today we're cooking on the grill, so we've got our grill preheated to 375 degrees. This works great in your oven, works great in your smoker. The best part is, look at this. This is going to be our cooking vessel tonight, so we're going to put this into cast iron pan. Now, if I'm going to grandma's house, right, to grandmother's house we go, and I'm bringing an appetizer, I can make this entire thing, put it into the cast iron, cover it with plastic wrap, and I can take this on the road so that all I have to do is finish it. That is super helpful because now we're giving you a few ideas to make things a little bit easier so you can kind of prep and go and serve. Tell your friends to heat their oven up to 375, pop this in about 20 minutes, you're going to have solid dish. So, all right, let's get going. Here, let me grab a pair of gloves.
Here's a question.
Yep.
Can you use, other types of beef, right?
Yeah.
So Kate Kate typed in here. She said she did this same recipe. She used leftover ground beef.
Yep.
And she said it was awesome.
All right, so the question was, can you use any kind of leftover beef in here? Kate posted in her question, she used leftover ground beef, which could be absolutely amazing. Yes, you can use any beef. That's the beauty of this. So if you have extra ground beef, use that. Pot roast, absolutely. Maybe you have some short rib that you have extra flank steak or skirt steak, you absolutely could use whatever. And that's the beauty of a lot of these recipes. Very, very versatile. And they work out with multiple cuts, which means you're not always stuck with, oh, I don't have pot roast, I can't make this. Absolutely you can. Ground beef will work out just as well. So, all right, so first thing we do, we have our cream cheese. We let this soften for about an hour at room temp just because we wanted to make sure it was nice and soft. It wasn't too hard on us, so we'll go ahead and push that down. We're going to add everything into this bowl. We're going to add our sour cream like that. We're going to add our Parmesan. We're going to add our mozzarella and Swiss. We're going to add our artichoke hearts. We drained these as well just to get all that excess liquid out of there. We'll go ahead and add those. And then it calls for a little bit of garlic. So we're going to add, it says 2 teaspoons in here. I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm using a toasted minced garlic. And then we use a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. I'm doing about a half a teaspoon of that, a little bit over the top. And I'm not going to do any salt yet because I have a lot of salt in the pot roast. I shouldn't say a lot, but there's salt in the pot roast, salt in the gravy, salt in the artichoke. So I don't want to go too crazy. We have salt in the cheese as well. But what we'll do is go ahead and get in here. Start giving this a good mix. I want to get all of these ingredients mixed up ahead of time so that when I add the pot roast, everything is pretty well mixed and it just kind of incorporates in there nicely. And like I said, we've got the grill heated to 375 degrees. Absolutely do this in your oven, do this in your smoker, or bring it to grandma's house. I'm telling you, it's not a bad place to go. Right? All right, so got that all mixed up. Just like that, so that's where we stand right now. Then what we'll do is go ahead and take the pot roast and gravy. And now I'm telling you, when I asked about doing this recipe, I had some rave reviews. Apparently this recipe has been eaten a lot because Julie at Beef Council and Nita and Todd and everybody was like, oh, this recipe is so good. So I'm actually pretty excited. I'm taking this home for dinner tonight. We're going to cook it. We're going to eat a little bit, and I'm going to take it home for dinner. So now we're going to mix that pot roast in. That all set. And you just want to make sure you get that cream cheese mixed up pretty well. That's why we left it at room temperature, so that you don't get any chunks or clumps of cream cheese. We have it mixed in here pretty well and consistent. And then, if you're like me, you realize you have too small of a bowl, so we're going to do a little bowl change here quick. All right, because I forgot about this, the spinach. So we're going to do a quick bowl change here. So note to self, use a bigger bowl, and you make sure you use a bigger bowl as well. All right, that's the joy of cooking live. You get to see how those things happen. We're human, right? We're human. So what I'm going to do here to make this a little bit easier is I'm actually going to make a well in the center like that. Then I'm going to put that spinach in there. Now, you're thinking that's a lot of spinach, and I thought the same thing when I cut this up. Keep in mind that spinach is going to wilt. So you take 5 ounce volume, 5 ounce weight, which is a lot of volume, and you just shrink that right down, and I bet you we end up with like a 1/4 cup of spinach when we're done here. So, all right, go ahead and get this mixed in. Now, what we've done to our pan already is we just have it kind of wiped down with a little bit of oil, as we always do when we're done using cast iron. Keeps it nice and fresh and make sure we don't have any rust or any of that stuff. What we'll do super quick is we're going to go through here and spray that. A little bit of pan spray. You can pick your favorite pan spray. We're just going to use a little bit of our cooking spray here. Now, listen, the better you spray this, the more even you spray this, the easier it's going to be to clean, right? Because this cheese tends to stick a little bit. So give it a good spray on there. Make sure it's all in there good and well, and you will have an easier time cleaning, that's for sure. So get that all mixed up. Now what we'll do, out of the bowl, we'll turn that so you can see it, out of the bowl and into the pan. Just like that. Yeah, it smells delicious. So I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a fantastic dip as well. And you look at this just like that. Super, super easy, right? So the best thing is, again, I can wrap this, take it with me on the road, and I am done. So we've got that set. One of the cool things we're going to do too, we'll show you real quick before we hand that off. I already have my plate ready to go, right? So I already made a plate here of some red peppers, some carrots, and some celery sticks. And you can see that I have it wrapped in plastic because, again, I want to be able to take this show on the road. So I've done all the work now to make it easier to travel. So we'll leave this in the fridge. We will hand that off to Todd. All right, if you don't mind. Thank you, sir. And Todd's going to put that on the grill at 375 degrees. We're talking about 15 to 20 minutes. And basically all we're looking for, just to get that nice bubbling, blurp, 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 just nice little bubbling going on. That's going to make sure it's nice and hot because everything in there is pre-cooked. So we're not really worried about cooking anything raw. We're just worried about heating things back up. And we're in a good place doing that. Now, when you look at our next recipe, you think to yourself, I cooked too many steaks last night. What am I going to do with the leftover steaks? And I'll tell you, this is something where you don't want to have leftovers go to waste because that's your hard-earned money, right? Regardless of what you're cooking, you don't want to have waste because you paid for this. You want to eat it. So now the nice thing is I actually planned. I knew we were going to be making this for a party, so I said, hey, I'm going to make steaks for dinner tonight, and I'm going to hopefully have a couple extra because that will turn into a great New Year's Eve appetizer. So that's what happened, right? So we have some crostini here. And crostini is just a fancy word for French bread. So we took a French baguette, which we have right here. Here's a funny little thing for you. The joy of being a chef. When you're driving down the highway with a French baguette in the seat of your truck, you end up missing an end because I got hungry. So we take this French baguette and we go through here and just slice some nice thin pieces. And we're not trying to get too thin so they break, and we're not trying to go too thick so it's a loaf. We're just trying to go in here, cut these at an angle or on a bias, just like that. All right, so we've got nice little thin chunks right here. Then what we did is went through and put them on a pan. We drizzled all of these with our favorite olive oil. Then we sprinkled some sea salt on there and a little bit of cracked black pepper. Took them out to our grill and we grilled them off. We toasted them till we got a nice little bit of toast on the outside. That's going to help that foundation of flavor, if you will, because now we've got bread with a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of that grilled flavor. Now, once these are grilled, they do not go back in the fridge because they will get absolutely soggy. So we left them out. We just leave them on the counter so that they can stay nice and dry. And Colorado works good because it's nice and dry here. So, all right, we'll leave those guys there. Let's go in here and double check our recipe. Grab everything else we need. Any questions, comments, hostilities?
Nothing yet.
Nothing? That's
so what about when you were a little kid?
Uh-oh.
You were going into Christmas and New Year's and,
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Yep.
What were some of the things you look forward to eating?
You know, we always had roast beef. My grandma always had, like Christmas Eve was more appetizers for us. And we always had Little Smokies in barbecue sauce. That was like a staple with grape jelly. But we had a deli I grew up in Minneapolis. We had a deli in Minneapolis. And it was the best shaved roast beef. Like, it was just amazing. And we'd have ham, roast beef. We'd have different breads, meatballs, just fun little, like, appetizers, snacking things. Christmas Day was a big feast because that's when our entire family was there. But usually Christmas Eve was like a bunch of little appetizer things. What were some of your...
Did you have leftover stuff that you tried to repurpose? My mom used to do turkey dinner.
Turkey dinner.
And then we always had on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, when we were busy with family and stuff, we just snacked on turkey sandwiches all day.
Yeah. Yeah, and we would... So, yeah, Todd was saying his mom used to do... Grandma?
My mom.
Mom used to do turkey on Christmas Eve. So then Christmas Day, they'd have a bunch of leftovers. Well, I'll tell you what, we always had meatballs left over. We always had roast beef. We always had all of that. And we would eat that Christmas Day. And I'm Lebanese, so my grandma would make a huge Lebanese spread. But we'd never eat Christmas Day until about 5. So I would start the morning with some Little Smokies that were rewarmed. I'd start with some meatballs and then roast beef sandwiches and all that good stuff. So lots of leftovers to be had at my house. All right, let me grab a bowl here. And we are going to get moving on the next dish. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little horseradish spread for this bread, just to kind of make it easy. And I made a call today because I was at the grocery store and I was getting supplies, and I thought to myself, you know, the recipe calls for heavy cream. And I thought horseradish, heavy cream, Parmesan, and chives, it's going to be a little thin because of the heavy cream, and I wanted this to be a little bit thicker. So I'm using a little bit of sour cream. So into this bowl here, I'm going to add sour cream. All right, I've got about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of Parmesan, some fresh grated Parmesan. I've got some chives, so I'm going to add as much or as little as I like. I put 2 or 3 tablespoons in there. And then right here, this is what everybody loves around the holidays, horseradish. Now, I'm using just prepared horseradish, and I'm using extra, extra hot because I'm telling you what, I think when it comes to these crostinis and it comes to beef, one of the things I really enjoy is that just nasally heat that comes out of horseradish. And I think if you have the beef cooked right and you have it seasoned right, you get that iron, you get those minerals, you get that ultimate beefy flavor that comes out of a New York steak. But then you also get like that whoof of the horseradish, that kick of the horseradish. So I think those flavors pair really well. So again, I went with hot because, you know, we wanted to keep it hot and spicy, right? All right. Question.
On the artichoke.
Yep.
Can you use a pizza oven?
Question on the artichoke dip. Someone said, can you use a pizza oven? Absolutely. If you have a wood-fired pizza oven or you have a gas-fired pizza oven, maybe turn that oven down. Those pizza ovens tend to get really, really hot in that 900-degree range. Turn that pizza oven down into the 400, 500-degree range. Put that cast iron in there. The beautiful thing is it's going to heat soak some of the heat off the deck. That'll start heating the cast iron up while the heat across the top starts getting your artichoke dip nice and hot. So, okay, so we mix this up. I told you I got the hot horseradish. Holy horseradish. So yeah, this is hot horseradish, that's for sure. All right, and what you can see is a little bit thicker, right? Which I think is what I wanted. It calls for cream. Thought it might be a little thin. If I'm eating horseradish sauce, I want like stick to your beard, like on your face, like good old horseradish sauce. So what we'll do now is we'll go through here and we're just going to start spreading horseradish sauce on the top of these. Now I'm not going light. I'm going to spread a nice amount of horseradish on here because, are you a horseradish fan? Yeah. I can tell you, and I don't know if it's a beef thing, but I know a lot of producers and ranchers that are like horseradish, like are just like so about horseradish.
Real stuff.
Totally the real stuff. Yep. I asked, I don't remember who it was. I asked him about horseradish, and I said, "Oh yeah, you like that stuff that comes in the squirt bottle?" You might as well have asked them if they like chicken, because they were like, you know, self-respecting human uses that stuff. So yeah, we use the fresh prepared horseradish, and I'll tell you what, delivers, right? You want a standout dish. Any other questions while I'm spreading on horseradish sauce?
Nothing yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't forget, let us know in the comments too. What are you making? What beef dish are you making for the holidays? Anything. Don't tell us anything. You don't have to say prime rib or tenderloin. Let us know what you're doing. If you've got your favorite meatball recipe, let us know in the comments what is on your family's plate for New Year's, for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, football games, all that good stuff. Because we always love to see what you're cooking. That is always a fun thing.
Donna Greyer-Beal.
Yep.
She loves horseradish.
Donna Greyer-Beal said she loves horseradish. You know what? I'm telling you, there's two schools here. There's you love horseradish, you hate it. There's no like I kind of like it. You are either a strong advocate or absolutely against it. I like it. I think it's great.
Oh, yeah.
The horseradishier, the better. And then don't forget too, in the comment section, let us know what you'd like to see next year for some fun live events. We're thinking, and Todd and I were talking today about getting into YouTube again as our platform because we have such a great opportunity to interact better. We can answer more questions live. We can see all your questions in front of us. That video will live forever, unlike some of the other platforms where it just lives for a little bit. 30 days or so and then disappears. But let us know in the comment section what you would like to see for some upcoming events in 2023 because we want to make sure we are planning some solid stuff. All right. And if you're wondering, that is empty, that bowl, and it made 2, 4, 6, it made 18 crostadas. Not a bad thing at all, right? So we'll set that bowl to the side. We'll take...
Jeremy Glass is making short ribs.
Oh, Jeremy Glass, my friend Jeremy Glass, Chef Jeremy Glass is making short ribs. Nobody likes to show off, Jeremy, but we do because you have short ribs. Man, I'll tell you what. Where did I had short ribs? Somewhere, one of the steakhouses, we went out to dinner. And normally I'm like, I want a big juicy steak. And it was short ribs on pasta with like a brown sauce. And I thought, man, how does that not sound amazing? And I barely got out of my mouth, how's the short rib? And the server's like, it's the best thing we have on the menu. Really? And it was, I'll tell you what, it delivered. So, all right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and slice these steaks into thinner pieces. Not super thin, but not so thick that you can't chew through them. Because again, we're trying to eat this in 1 or 2 bites. So we want to make sure we actually get to eat it in 1 or 2 bites. So we'll get these sliced here and we'll finish topping these off. I'll tell you, if you live in Denver, something cool is coming up January 7th through the 22nd. It is the National Western Stock Show. I would say it's the best time to be around Denver. So January 7th through the 22nd at the National Western Complex, it is the National Western Stock Show. And I'll tell you, you can go upstairs, see the petting zoo, see all the things, buy some boots, get a hat, get your hat cleaned. But I'll tell you what, go down below in the paddocks, go down in the pens and see all of the animals. More importantly, see the future of agriculture. Those kids that are working in those barns, in the pens, in the everything, are doing such an amazing job. You just watch the concentration when they're clipping that show steer and they're spraying it down to see where the hairs stand up and they're clipping it. Don't stop upstairs and just hang out all the time. Go down below because that's where the magic of the stock show happens. And I will tell you, seeing those kids and young adults working their animals is absolutely, I get lost. I just bring a camera and I wander through the stock show and I get lost because I just have a blast watching what goes on. And you know what? You come out smelling pretty solid too, which is, a little bit of the stock show, right? All right, so we'll go ahead and keep topping these off here. We'll add these in. Looks like we need 4 more pieces.
And those kids are doing it to get scholarship.
Yeah.
For school, right?
Yeah. They're,
It's even better.
yeah, we just did the FFA meet and greet event last month at National Western Stock Show as well, or at the National Western Complex. And that's always a fun event as well because you watch these kids that work so hard to raise their animals and get out there, and those animals are bid on by different organizations, different groups, different businesses. And it's just, there is so much pride. We always get to work with different FFA kids, young adults, I should say. I don't always want to say kids. Young adults that help us at our chef booth. And it's just a blast being able to talk to them and see the pride in their face when they talk about where they're from and what animals they have or what they raise. And oddly enough, I had 3 girls and 1 gentleman helping me. And the girls all raise goats, which I like, all of a sudden that's exploding. Like it seems like there's more goat raising going on. All right. So here is that steak crostini just as is. Beautiful slice of bread. You've got that horseradish sauce on there, and then you've got your beef on top. Now, what it calls for is a little bit of arugula. And arugula is a really nice green. It's very peppery, which is super cool because on that bread we have salt and pepper, giving it a well-rounded flavor. We've got that sharp woo of that horseradish sauce, the beauty of the iron and minerals in that beef, and then we'll top it with just a tiny bit of arugula on the top, really just giving it like a peppery, lettucey finish. A couple things you could do on here. You could take that arugula and dress it. If you want to dress it, add a little bit of greens to it and put it on that way, or you can just put it on plain. I got baby arugula, so they were a little bit smaller. Now I'm just going to go through and top one with each, 1 or 2 pieces of arugula on top here.
People are liking the horseradish.
Are they liking the horseradish? I love it. I love it. Todd says everybody's liking the horseradish, so thank you for the horseradish positive comments.
Jeremy loves the stock show.
I love stock show. I really do. It is. I'm traveling in January, and today I went in and I'm like, I got to make sure I put stock show dates on the calendar, and I have both weekends off of stock show. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go up and hang out and maybe do, I think CSU Spur, I might be doing something at the CSU Spur as well. They asked me to do something for stock show, so. All right. So there you go. Super easy, right? Now, the nice thing is, if you want to plate these up today, let's say your party's tonight, look at total time to make these. Maybe in all the time total, maybe 30 minutes to make them. But let's say you're taking them again to someone's house. I have them on a cooking sheet pan. You can go ahead and wrap this with plastic wrap out the door, and then you can plate them up at someone's house. Or just grab your fancy plate and decorate them yourself, cover that plate, and bring them on the road that way, and you'll be set. But that is a super easy recipe. And like I said, both of today's recipes are available in the description section. In the comment section up top, you can just click on the links. It'll bring you right over to beefitswhatsfordinner.com, and that'll show you where all those recipes are. All right, speaking of recipes, I had those gloves. What did I do with them? Did I not have a pair of gloves?
I didn't see him.
Huh, weird. All right, we're going to grab a pair of gloves super quick, and we're going to head out and grab the other dish super quick. Would you mind grabbing it?
Nope.
I'll give Todd my insulated gloves. All right, so Todd's going to head out and grab the artichoke dip. We'll get that ready here. Clean up some of our dishes over here. I'm excited about the artichoke dip. It's such a great thing to eat anyways, but adding some leftover pot roast with a little bit of gravy. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So I don't know if you can see this, you guys, but bubbling, just absolutely bubbling in here. So let me grab those gloves from me if I can.
The smell is amazing.
It does smell amazing, doesn't it? So look at this. So we're all set. We've got that artichoke dip done. It is just, oh my gosh, absolutely going crazy. Now we have our plate set up and ready to go here as well. So again, I brought the plate. You can bring this, heat it up, and you are good to go. Make sure when you are handling cast iron, you have some definite insulated gloves or heat gloves, hot gloves or a oven mitt. And then make sure when you put it onto your table, your counter, your board, have a little insulated silicone mat or a trivet or what do they call them? Trivet? Yeah, pot holder. Hot pad or something. Yeah, just have one of those here, and that'll be good for you as well. But 2 super easy recipes for you. And like we said, don't forget, you can always head over to Colorado Beef website, which is cobeef.com, Colorado Beef's website, and there is a ton of information there. All the recipes that we've done, and we've been doing lives for, 2.5, 3 years almost. We started doing them hot and heavy when COVID hit, just because we were having fun and everybody was cooking at home, and we wanted to get you excited about that. So cobeef.com, recipes, advice, tips, cooking things, and more, including the beef locator map. So if you're looking for that Colorado beef to fill your fridge, freezer, belly, definitely go over there, click on it. It'll tell you all the producers and ranchers that are ready to sell amazing beef. And I'll tell you what, Colorado beef is absolutely amazing, and we've got a lot of good things there. And then once again, thanks to our farmers and ranchers and producers for supporting us in doing this. We absolutely appreciate the amount of effort and work and tireless hours you put in to raising these cool little critters. That's what Sally and Kevin Miller call them, critters. I'm not sure why, but it's what they always call them. So we appreciate all the work you do and those tireless hours. Once again, I'm Chef Jason for the Colorado Beef Council. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, grab all of these recipes and more. And then if you're watching this video after today when we are not live, today is Thursday. So if you're watching it after Thursday, don't forget, let us know in the comment section, what do you want to see us do in 2023? What are some fun things you'd love to see us do for our weekly and monthly live events, which I should say monthly. Every month we do a live event. So tell us what you'd like to see, and we'll make sure that we get everything programmed up and dialed in to satisfy the beef meat eaters inside you. So have a very happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us all of 2022. We wish you and your families nothing but the best, and all of our ranchers and producers, lots of love for you guys. Take care of those animals just as you always do. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. Happy New Year.